Sometimes the best laid plans are not manifested as it was intended. In teaching and learning, there are so many factors to consider. These factors include managing the learning environment and ensuring comprehension of the concepts, managing the relationships, learning and personal needs of the students, among many others. Even when all aspects of the learning profiles are met and resources are well sorted out, organized and intentionally planned into the learning episode, there are many unforeseen issues that can still cause a well-planned lesson to tank. And what do you do when this happens? When a lesson tanks, the first thing to do is to admit that the lesson is not going as planned. This does happen. There are so many factors to consider and you cannot control them all. Secondly, remain emotionally composed. There is no need to fall apart in front of the students. There is enough time for that after the crisis has been resolved. Thirdly, don't play the blame game. A series of things could have resulted in a lesson not going according to plan. Apologize to the students and explain that you are adapting the lesson. They need to understand what is going on and that it is under control. When trialing a new concept or pedagogy, it is best to plan 2 lessons. The one you want to trial with your students and the backup in case the trial lesson fails. If you realize that your lesson is tanking, it is best to accept this early and to assess to see if there are any ways in which you can recover the lesson and continue successfully. If this is not the case, then the best thing to do is to switch to the backup plan rather than continuing and stretching out the lesson, which could result in a more complex situation to resolve later on. When you are transitioning between your tanking lesson to the backup lesson, be mindful about how you are reacting. Stay calm and relaxed, because your students are most likely to mimic your behavior. When you are calm and relaxed, your students are most likely to be too. Failure is a part of success. You improve the quality of your teaching and the learning for students through taking measured risk of trialing a range of different teaching strategies. Even if the technique that you had trialed had gone to plan, there would still be further need for improvement to perfect it and embed it into your practice. Reflect on the lesson in totality. Evaluate the plan, the resources, the time of day, the pupil's mood, other social and emotional factors, the need for support from another member of staff to manage the activity at the start of the lesson, how the activities transition or the activities themselves. Decide on what things or what thing that you need to change and what other approaches may improve the overall lesson. Do not start to judge your professional capability by one-off lesson that went pear-shaped or belly up. In teaching, it is common sense to expect the unexpected. Explore what could be done differently and work to make those amendments. Review areas of the lesson that needs to be developed further or that needs tweaking and modifying for redelivery. If the lesson is redeemable, make the necessary changes and deliver the lesson again. It is important not to be put off from taking risks simply because you are afraid of failing. Trial a part of the lesson as a starter in another lesson and explore how it feels. Discuss the idea with another teacher who can relate to what you're trying to achieve. This does not have to be a teacher of your subject. If a teaching pedagogy is being explored and not specific conceptualization. These conversations can be beneficial because teachers can ask you questions that will open you up to ideas that you have not thought about previously. Sometimes these conversations will help to resolve the problems as you think about things more openly. Teaching is a process of ongoing development. It is important to proactively consider what you want to achieve from a lesson and trial it in manageable or smaller installments before making it into a full lesson. Using new initiatives could positively influence students, motivating and stimulating their interests. This will yield better outcomes for them, both academically and behaviorally. It is worth exploring the level of risk-taking in planning and ensuring that it is well planned out before implementing. Nevertheless, even the best planned lessons can sometimes have challenges in the execution. So be proactive, have a backup plan, and see when the lesson is tanking so that you can take the right and appropriate action swiftly.